Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to talk about something that I think is kind of interesting. Would you rather be alive in the present day or sometime in history? So I'm going to make the case for wanting to be alive in present day. I've always felt this way too. Maybe it's my blind optimism or something, but anyway. So the first thing that I want to touch upon is the present day, whenever the present day is. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we've consistently the last 100, 200, 300 years been increasing technology. With that comes medical advancements and computers and phones and all that stuff. And I think, yes, those things have disadvantages, right? Facebook and can become toxic, and TikTok and all these different things can be bad, right? However, I also think that a lot of this stuff, they're overall very positive. And I say that because this technology just enables amazing things. So the reason so what sparks this video, a guy I watch on YouTube, motorcycle YouTuber, his name's Ryan Cruzy. If I remember to, I'll link his channel in the description. But anyway, he had a couple cervical discs in his neck replaced, in his spine, with fake discs. Now previously, and when I say previously, I mean, a few months ago, this stuff just came out. 6 months ago even, you would get a fusion if you needed the surgery that he had. And, they just fuse the bone together somehow. They put plates and screws in, or, whatever they do. But point is, you lose some mobility in your neck. You've got all this hardware in there. And from what I understand, and I've talked to a lot of people about stuff like this, your body, never quite heals from something like that. It just, I don't know. It just is never really quite the same. And supposedly, they now make replacement discs. So they actually go in there, they remove your human disc or whatever's left of it, and they put this little piece of plastic with a little ball, like a ball bearing-y slider thingy on it. And it's supposed to emulate a human disc, and you keep all your range of motion. And according to his video anyway, he's, quote, better than stock when he fully heals, which is an awesome car guy, motorcycle guy way to say that. But anyway, so I watched that, and as you know from my channel, I had lower back issues. I didn't need surgery, luckily, but man, knowing that there's options like that out there, as somebody who, has had different medical problems in the past, it's holy crap, that's literally life-changing. So if I was alive in the 1800s, first of all, there's no such thing as PT and whatever, so I'd probably still be all messed up. But even aside from that, it's there'd be no chance of surgery. You literally just have this back pain that you're gonna have to live with and medicate away with alcohol and opium and whatever the heck else they gave people back then. It's that would suck. Literally my life probably would be ruined. I'd probably be in pain, agony, maybe not agony, but in a lot of pain the rest of my life, right? So, man, it's just you kind of forget how freaking lucky we are to live in modern times, and just how fortunate we are to have the medical technology, especially. That's the number one thing. Phones and all that stuff are, it's fun and it's good, and video games and all that. We all enjoy that stuff, but the medical technology is the absolute critical one. The MRI machine, they didn't exist, 50 years ago, or just started to exist 50 years ago. And CAT scans, X-rays even. All this stuff just revolutionizes medical care and allows you to truly live a better life. And I think that's the thing people forget about, right? It's easy to idolize the past, because certain things were maybe simpler, or the Wild West, right? The mystique of, discovering new lands and all that stuff. And there's some truth to all that. I think there was absolutely some aspects of the past that were, arguably cooler than modern times. So that's something worth, considering. However, I just think that the trade is just not there. Having access to modern medical technology, I personally think outweighs any other benefit of living in the past. And then the cool thing is, if you do live in whatever present time you're living in, right? it sounds like you can't access certain things from the past. It may be a little harder, but like, for example, the cars were so much cooler back then, which, I mean, is debatable because we have some amazing car technology. But like, okay, fine, right? But you can go buy a 67 Camaro or whatever, right? Like, you can do that. And money-wise, they're actually not really, if you get like the right one, it's something special or whatever, I mean, it's affordable compared to a modern car. Right, you can get one that's a beater for $2 to $5 grand. You can get a, middle grade one for 15 to 30, and you can get a amazing special one for $100,000. Right, so it's like they're out there. I mean, it's still, you can do all that kind of stuff, and that goes to, the same thing with different, other different things from the past. Right, if you're into swords or you're into, old guns. I mean, whatever it is. You can access that stuff. It's not like it disappeared. Yeah, it's in smaller quantities and it's not readily used. We're not using horse and wagons anymore. But hey, the Amish are, right? So like, there's things are around. Things don't fully disappear. Yes, they become not mainstream, right? Which is, something to be said for that. But, and like, everybody has this fear of, oh my God, electrification, they're going to take my V8 truck and my V-twin motorcycle. And it's like, listen, I literally everything I own, vehicle-wise, is a V8 or this V-twin. Like, I like burning gas as much as the next guy. However, and I was always worried about that actually for a while. But I'm like, I rode the Zero electric motorcycle, which was pretty fun. Now, would I want to trade it for this? Not necessarily, but like, whatever, it was pretty fun. And I kind of realized at that point, I'm like, you know what? It's like, whatever technology comes out, a couple things. For one, this stuff isn't going to be phased out overnight. You'll still have some gas-powered motorcycles and everything else, and cars and stuff like that. And then the other thing is, you generationally, you wind up adapting, right? Like, if we had the mentality that they're going to take my internal combustion engine, it's like, with that mentality, literally nothing would ever advance. And again, I tend to like almost have that mentality myself, because I love the internal combustion engine a lot. But guess what? I'm going to live and die someday, and the internal combustion engine, isn't something that somebody 100 years from now might care about as much as I do, right? God, traffic is messed up today. Anyway, it's just not something that you might care about as much. So, and that's okay, right? If your kids or your kids' kids don't care about that thing you cared a lot about, that's like progression. That's natural. That's fine. It's not a big deal. People get so dogmatic. Now, don't get me wrong. You should keep buying the stuff you enjoy and keep doing what you enjoy. So, for example, right, I want to own this motorcycle the rest of my life. I love this bike. Got it when I was 16, whatever. Okay, great. But, like, I don't expect my kids, if I have any, or my grandkids or their kids, to appreciate it the way I do. If they do, cool. More power to them. That's actually awesome. But I don't require that. I don't expect that. That'd just be a nice bonus. And so I think, I don't know, I think like people will be like, oh, the good old American way is dying. It's like, well, I think the good old American way, in its truest sense, is like true progress and innovation, right? Developing new technologies, exploring new frontiers, whether that be electric cars or hydrogen or whatever, whether that be, just all different technologies. It's like, I want to see these changes. And even if I don't actually personally like them, they're probably good for society overall, most of the things that are going on. And guess what? If they're not good, they will eventually be, flushed down the drain. Like, they're electric cars, for example. I just keep going back to that because it's a pertinent one. But I mean, they tried to make electric cars in the early 1900s. It failed. The internal combustion engine won. Now you can discuss why that is, but the reality is it won. So for the next 100+ years, everyone started making gas cars. Now maybe we're going back. I don't know. It depends. But it's like there's always that room for change and improvement. That's why you always got to be looking, deal with your day-to-day stuff for sure, but like you got to look at the horizon too. What's coming 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I fully realize my daily driver may not be a gas-powered vehicle for the rest of my life. I'm 27. There's a lot of years left, right? Hopefully. It may not be a gas-powered vehicle. I don't even know how I feel about that yet. I kind of, on the surface, I say that I'd rather it be gas-powered, but I don't know. I mean, I've never daily driven an electric car or truck, so maybe it's actually not too bad. I have to give it a try, right? and something to consider again, right? Okay, you could have a steam-powered car, and if you really wanted to, you could drive your steam-powered car daily, more or less. You might have to figure out fueling. You might not be able to go super far away from home, but you could do it. So, and that's technology that died off well over 100 years ago. So, I mean, but nobody does it, right? Because it's a pain in the butt, and people have found out that internal combustion engines are overall better than steam for a car. And guess what? 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 20 years from now, whatever it is, maybe people will determine electric motors are fundamentally better than the internal combustion engine. It's not far-fetched, right? So, and that's okay if that consensus is made. And for us guys kind of left behind, myself included, who maybe really like the internal combustion engines, well, we're going to have to get creative. Maybe that means you daily an electric car and you have your weekend toys or gas, or you daily, whatever it is, right? Or you daily a gas car because you're local, and your weekend driver that you're going on trips with is electric. I don't know. I mean, you'll figure it out, right? And if that's, if that's like too much for you to bear, good old American way is going away, brother. That kind of mentality. I don't know. I think it's a little narrow-minded. Again, this is coming from a guy who rides a freaking Harley, so I sympathize. I'm not judging. I'm just giving a different perspective. I'm giving a little more worldly perspective. I don't like that word. I don't like the word world. But anyway, so that's just kind of some of my thoughts on the fact that people don't know how to merge. I love it. What are you doing? What are you doing, brother? The lane's over here. Come on in. We're playing with the radio. That's what we're doing. First and foremost, we gotta mess with the radio. That's what we need to do. Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. What are we doing, sir? What is this guy doing? I didn't trust that guy as far as I could throw him. Not the biker, the van. I'm just getting out in front of him. Screw that. Anywho. Gotta always keep your head on a swivel on a motorcycle, man. People literally don't know how to drive. It's insane, but they have no conception of how to drive. Wow, I totally lost my train of thought. Back to what we're talking about. There you go. Perfect example. If we had some automation, maybe, right? Maybe that guy would have found a way to change lanes, or his car's computer would have done it for him. Everyone's so concerned, and I actually get this. I have some concerns myself. So concerned about automation and that computers are gonna, not know how to predict accidents and run people over and that kind of thing. Well, guess what? Humans do an awfully good job of it, right? Hey, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes driving. I've made mistakes riding. I'm lucky to be, that I haven't gotten in an accident sometimes, whatever, right? We've all been there. So, I will not sit here and claim my perfection and, my scorn upon the world. Man, these new Broncos are kind of cool. I like them. I think they're pretty neat. They got good square lines. They probably get 2 miles per gallon, which I appreciate. Here I go talking about the past. But anyway, so I don't know. I'm just excited for what the future has in store. I got my toys. I live the lifestyle I want to live. I've got such good control over my destiny in modern times. The internet just enables you to learn things you'd never otherwise learn. I don't know, man. Are people meaner? Are people more isolated? Honestly, I don't know, right? I haven't been alive long enough. People, like my parents and people older than me claim that people are maybe more rude or less talkative in public, or just put your headphones on and put your blinders on. And maybe that's all true. I don't really know, but what I do know is the interactions I've had and spurred and attempted to make with people have been pretty wholesome throughout life. I've had a lot of good experiences, met a lot of good people. Has it all been perfect? No. But I don't think your life was perfect back in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s or whatever either, right? So it's just, I don't think humans are as different now as they ever were. At least that's my take on it. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. So I don't know. The one thing I will say is, as a motorcycle and car enthusiast and stuff, it's a great time to be alive. The technology we have available to us is unmatched. I can buy. Oh, what are we doing over here? More traffic infractions going on. Oh, I love it. I love it. Keep your head on a swivel, guys. This is about the 4th traffic chaos I've seen today. Do never trust a freaking car, or another motorcyclist for that matter. I don't care what it is. Don't trust anybody. What is this guy doing? Dude, you are going to get somebody killed, my friend. Ah, love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, yeah, I think there's data to support this. People are worse drivers nowadays, more distracted. Probably just more distracted. I think there's actually data to support that. I read that somewhere. So that's one thing I will say. Also, people drive faster probably, but cars are also more capable, so that's 50-50. I don't know. That one's subjective, I suppose. And define worse, right? More accidents, I guess. Anyway, I'm just rambling on. I think I got most of my point across. So, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. God bless America.